Thought I'd make a video. Went to class and got, not the class, but went to Mercer College, asked some more questions, what paperwork I need to fill out. So everything's good. I just need to get these vaccines all completed and get a BLS and CPR. And so I got these I'm going to have to get these, and I'm doing them online. I finished the CPR, but I got like the standard. I was supposed to also, the BLS also has a CPR. So anyway, I'm going to have to do the test again, even though I passed it. Just a few other things, and it looks like it's going to take me a good while, because it took me a good while to read, at least a few hours. And but I wanted to talk about a few things. I don't know if it was just I don't know, I felt really weird. Not weird, but I just felt like I couldn't mentally focus very well. And when I was trying to study and read the material, and like I said, my goal in this whole, my short-term goal in all this is just to achieve this part of certified nurse's assistant, not to make this a career or even as a job, but I'll probably do this partially for work, and then just do something else. And maybe there is something completely else different, but that's really the primary goal, is just for my immediate family and for myself. And but I was thinking of something that was something else that was a little bit more important. Obviously, electronic devices are shooting me, and I don't know if it's something that's caused me to feel sort of disoriented while trying to study. But anyway, I was thinking of my brother Frankie, and I was thinking of my sister, my mother, my immediate family. And I remember Frankie telling me, and he didn't even know we were at Albertsons, and my brother told me. He said it like he had no idea, and I was like, I'm gonna say I think I was like 10 years old. Like I would say like 10 or 11 years old. And Frankie, we saw our sister, and he went over and he goes, "Hey, I think that's Mom's daughter. That's Mom's daughter. Ivan said something that's Mom's kid, or that's your sister. That's our sister." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he looked, and I remember him being next to me. He goes, "Yeah," and he kind of looks. He goes, like, "Yeah, I don't know." And he goes just like that. And Ivan would be able to tell you. Ivan would be definitely the person to be able to tell you that, because he knew that we didn't know. So, as far as it goes with this particular situation, it's always very difficult to deal with, but I feel so estranged from my mother, and I don't know who's controlling her identical twins to tell her to do all these things. And I just don't really feel that, if Frankie was perfectly healthy and fine, how Frankie would just be around my mother, how, like, my mother's twins, because they were never there, but it just seems like it would be very, very confusing for there to be a healthy, bond between all of us. And I had seen Julian in 20 years. I don't know, occasionally think of Julian, I'm like, man, does Julian ever think of me like, oh, where's my brother? I gave him a bone marrow transplant. How is he doing? Does he ever cross his mind of my well-being? But I just feel sort of very terrorized right now at the moment, because I don't know, because I feel like I have so much control over my mother, and I don't know how to really feel other than you feel fearful of the idea of, like, I feel like they're just telling my mother to put me down a lot, and it's really abusive. Like, it feels like it's just pretty overwhelming, and a huge huge part of me feels like it's just not her fault. Like they're just, because I know they're telling her. I know she doesn't just come up with this stuff because it's very detailed. Like what I'm doing inside my apartment here in my room. What am I doing? Exactly what I'm doing at school or whatever certificate I got. But I really don't believe, especially since so much time has passed by, that there could be a healthy relationship even between my mother's twins and Frankie. And, I still question, is hurtful as it sounds, and it is for me, whether Ginger really passed away or someone made a fake website or it's just, but I have to just think very positive, try to think positive the best way that I can, and my goal is to achieve this, and that's the primary. It's not to make this a career, it's not to be doing this and learn my lessons or anything, especially where people are very sick and given the situation that I'm in, may not be the best of things, but I think that since I'm a prior cancer patient, if I ever do charity work, then I have that extra training. I have that extra ability of knowledge that I went to school for that I know is always benefiting to my immediate family. And that's the primary goal. It's not for me to just start working and doing this. But I really hope it honors my biological mother and immediate family and how the psychologist may look at this, but feels like the best that I do just to try to ignore it. It sometimes feels bad, but it's like the only way maybe to only deal with it. Not sure exactly, because they tell my mother so many exactly things to do, and then I sit down at a restaurant, these people are coming in looking at her all crazy, and it's almost like they're making me the enemy, and they're there to rescue my mother, and they're just doing this through this trained protocol. It's very, very confusing, kind of frightening, because it didn't, I want to have healthy, good, conversations, and it's just very calculated. And my mother's triplet sister and aunts don't have any idea of the reality of what's going on in the world that I live in with these electronic devices, and how it feels like somebody's watching me constantly in every move that I make and decision, obviously because my phone's tapped and everything I do on my laptop and everything I have on my save later list and list on YouTube and everything I post on Facebook. But I'm still hoping to reunite with my immediate family. I'm still praying and hoping I get to reunite. Whenever it is, the sooner the better. Sometime soon, praying that as long as I've been waiting for 10 years, over 10 years to reunite, and it never happened, to reunite with Frankie, Julian, and my mother. But it just feels, very damaging, because it just feels like they say get my mother to say some pretty awful shit, and whatever it is that they don't tell her turns into be awful shit because of just so much stuff that's going on. I feel so much of this 100% to be blamed on me. I'm always trying to do the right thing. Like, what's the right thing for me to do? What's the healthiest thing for me to do? But I'm still gonna try and get this GED, and this GED, this certified nurse's assistant, and so I'm making progress. Got the blood test done to see if I'm immune to it. Saved myself $300, and figure out what my next goals are. But that is the primary goal: is to have that and a certificate of education, and that's a primary goal. And then maybe become a driver or something like that. But that's kind of what the idea of it is. Because I really miss my immediate family, and I there's so much, they're probably not going to be able to do much catching up because so many years have passed by. But I miss them. I do miss my brother Frankie and Julian, my biological mother. For some reason, I've been completely extracted to communicate with my biological mother. I just try to pray to God every day. So much that's going on. I wish somebody else would understand, but other than that, yeah, I'm going to work on that, and it's supposed to be, I think, in the first week of summer. Hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to register all this. Hopefully there'll be, room for me to be able to attend the class, because there's a couple of classes, and it's completed. So I don't know exactly how long the class is. They said it was 8 to 12 weeks. Or I think 6 to 12. I think 8 to 12 weeks. So I don't know how fast that is. If it's, I hope whenever I do attend class that it's not too progressive for me to even, because right now I'm not feeling the desire to even want to go to school because I feel like I'm being put down so much. But I'm trying to hold faith, and that's just the primary goal, is to have that education, just the lowest, the smallest of education of the medical field, and to do something else. But I think hopefully it'll be more entertaining and have than so far what it seems like right now. But it's a lot of stress that's going on.